man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out.
All right, man, we're going to talk about Anthony Joshua talking that riffraff, my E40 voice, about Tyson Fury passed, and basically he don't care what he got in his ass. But we also going to talk about Bob Arum reacting to Lomachenko comments about bribing the judges. And also Loma want to come back in April or May, and he wants the Teofimo Lopez rematch. But let's talk about y'all guy, Manny Pacquiao. I seen a video that my boy Mark Pinkerton sent to me, and shout out to Vinny Ochoa for the donation today. Shout out to Vinny. Merry Christmas, my dude, and a Happy New Year, and a great 2021 to all you brothers out there and sisters out there, and even all you haters out there. They out there mad. Somebody should be a video, okay, of somebody talking that riffraff and that bull jive about Terrence Crawford saying that, you know, the wreck knocked out Errol Spence, some screws loose, and, you know, now these local dummy boxing community dudes is mad, but you know, it is what it is. You feel me? Talking that riffraff and that bull jive. But let's talk about Manny, all right? Basically, Manny Pacquiao, he was asked, which fight do you want the most? He said he got a few options, and he said he want Conor McGregor the most. All right? I think Conor McGregor is fighting Dustin Poirier on the UFC in January. I could be wrong. I did read that somewhere. But Manny basically said he wanted to fight McGregor, and guess what? You know, I heard that Manny wanted to fight Earl. He wanted to basically get warmed up and train and see where he was at. But it looking like he's still chasing Conor McGregor. And when asked, why do you want to fight Conor McGregor? He said he wanted to see what fighting a UFC fighter was about. And we already know it's an easy bag for low risk. All right. So I ain't even mad at him. Do what he do. I mean, if they strip him of the WBA title, so be it. If they let him keep it, I mean, it is what it is. You know, Pacquiao was basically the last hurdle left in the Errol Spence excuse. But basically now he using the Canelo Alvarez thing, which is his prerogative. If you want to get banged out his frame at 160, so be it. If he had clout like Mayweather, he could make Canelo Alvarez come down to 155, 156, but he ain't got that clout like his fans think he got. But I would love to see Manny Pacquiao line up against Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see how Earl handle his feints, handle his IQ, handle his power. Earl ain't been hit by nobody with that left hand of, like the left hand for Manny Pacquiao. But, you know, then again, I think at this point, he too long, he too accurate, you know, and he too spry for Manny Pacquiao. But I could see Manny Pacquiao beating Errol Spence with his feints and head movement. But then again, Earl got some long arms, you know what I'm saying? And really, if Pacquiao was in his prime, it would be no question that he pretty much probably wipe everybody out in this division. But then again, he would probably drain them. So if he didn't drain them, it might even it up. But I think Terrence Crawford is like, Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford is the only ones probably in their prime that probably can handle Manny Pacquiao, you know, out this division. But then again, it still ain't no guarantee they can beat him. But I think Earl need that fight. He deserved that fight. And if that's basically how we gonna send him off to 160 or 154 pounds, I'm down with it. You know, I want to be down. And I'm cool. You know, if you ask me who I'm pulling for as a fan, I really ain't pulling for nobody. I don't want to see no Filipino beat no black men. So I guess my fandom will be towards Errol Spence. But, I mean, I think he should fight Earl. You know what I'm saying? But then again, Manny Pacquiao been off almost 18 months. And we going into 2021. And we already talking about, is he, you know, who he want to fight. And the guy he named he want to fight, he's actually got a fight schedule. If my memory serves me correctly. So basically, he trying to fight somebody who already got something going on. So what is he gonna wait until Conor McGregor beat Poirier, and they gonna do it in July or August or September, and that's gonna be his going away? Apparently, him and, you know, Mikey Garcia kind of hit a snag. You hear Robert saying that Mikey shouldn't be waiting around for Manny Pacquiao. It seems like that fight ain't gonna come to fruition over, you know, fans, over money, you know, over whoever. And, you know, Mikey Garcia made $7 million fighting Jesse Vargas, and it's going to be hard for him to really, you know, take 7 to fight Pacquiao, take 7 to fight Crawford. If that's even there, depending on the fight, get 7 to fight Sean Porter. Really, that money, his expectations are a little bit too high, you know, and you could think Al Heyman, and then you could really think Eddie Hearn for taking it to another. Eddie Hearn, for taking it to another level, for guaranteeing him $7 million fighting Jesse Vargas. You know what I'm saying? So if I made $7 million fighting a guy coming down from 54, who really wasn't no threat to it, in a lot of people's opinion, as far as punching power, to be honest, man, I want 14 to rematch Errol Spence. I want 15 to get in the ring with Sean. I want 16 to get in the ring with Keith or Terrence. You feel me? So, to be honest, we talking about Mikey, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao really having no direction when we talking about 2021. Keith Thurman, I heard Al wanted to match him up with Ugas years ago. Months ago. And then we still ain't got no official announcement. So, really, how can they announce a fight that Keith Thurman coming back in January? At this point, February, a pipe dream. You feel me? So let's say 6 weeks out. They want to announce a fight, PBC fashion. Keith Thurman ain't probably coming back until late February or early March. And when Pacquiao coming back? He talking about, he got a few guys, but he want to fight McGregor. So we know if he want to fight Conor McGregor, and that's the goal. If he take a fight before McGregor, it's going to be a low risk, high reward fight. You might even see him fight Mikey Garcia. You might even see him fight somebody that we know he going to beat. Don't be surprised if he don't fight another MMA fighter. But we just at the point where, these dudes that let Manny Pacquiao hang around too long, and they still give him the power and the glory. If anything, I would be like, Pacquiao don't deserve a fight with me. That's what I'd be saying. Like, I wouldn't even bring his name up. His relevance, somebody, we want to fight Pacquiao? I'd be like, man, he already been knocked out, dropped, robbed, beat, outboxed. He really ain't on my radar. I ain't trying to fight him. Why I want to fight him for? He ain't in his prime. I ain't gonna get full credit. Like, no, I'm not thinking about bum ass Pacquiao. And then Pacquiao take the bait. He take the bait. If Pacquiao don't take the bait, then, I'm not really pressed about fighting him. But then again, they done gave this dude all the power, all the glory, say, man. And basically he get to dictate what. And that's just, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford chasing the bag. Even before he had a belt, in the welterweight division. Sean Porter screaming his name. I wouldn't give that little dude no play. As soon as he lost to Jeff Horn, I'm like, he lost to Jeff Horn. You think he deserve a fight with Errol Spence? You think he deserve a fight with Terrence Crawford? You think he deserve a fight with Sean Porter? That's how I play it. But then again, these dudes ain't got no player game. If you ask E40, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, they ain't got no game. They ain't got no PR team. They ain't got no sense. But then again, what do you expect from a whole bunch of novice guys who don't know how to talk, who don't know how to build? Man, I didn't even know, and I had to see this. Somebody sent this to me. Lion Killer told me to watch it. Larry Holmes drop kicked Trevor Burbick off a card, bro. That's promo. Like, when we just talking about skills, we know these boxers today ain't got half the skills and half the coaches and knowledge as far as how to, as far as skill. But when you're talking about promo, PR, building the fight, these dudes is just as stone cold as a rock when it comes to personality. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. If you want to see that video, you can tweet me. I ain't putting no more links in the description. Twitter Facebook YouTube be tripping. But let's move on. Anthony Joshua says that, he ain't concerned about what's in Tyson Fury. Ooh, you feel what I'm saying? He said it's always controversy around Fury, insinuating that my guy, Tyson Fury is on that juice deal. So basically, Anthony Joshua, who was in boxing scene, he basically brought up that, it's always controversy around Tyson Fury, the Klitschko to Wilder fight, and basically he don't care about what's in his ass. And, he said Tyson Fury knew about his uppercut. He knew about it since he was 20 years old, insinuating that he beat him up in the gym, which we all know that did happen. And, he's saying that, he's serious about that fight. And when that fight happened, you'll know. And then he also said he'd be willing to drop that WBO belt, to fight Tyson, to get that unification bout done. But Ingus Klimov and Usyk, who are the mandatory because he was the super champion at cruiserweight, said that Usyk don't want Joshua to drop all the belts. He wanted him to keep the belt, so when he fight the winner, which he can be undisputed right away, which is smart. But then again, the politics, if Tyson Fury win, he already said he's not fighting you. So he going to drop, the WBO belt and drop any belt to avoid you. And really, if they fight 3 times and they 1-1 or 2 times, there's some controversy, like some Groves and Frost stuff, he ain't gonna never get a shot at the winner. You know, you too high risk and low reward, even though he ain't really a threat, but he don't really bring nothing to the table as far as fanfare. You know, and my whole thing about it is about the situation with Joshua. Yeah, let people know if you a clean fighter, which has been some controversy around him. If you a clean fighter, let people know you clean and Tyson Fury dirty. And he said he don't care what's in his ass. He said he want to get the job done. He said he gonna beat him up. And that's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear. You know, even though, and I'm gonna keep saying this, I didn't think Joshua wanted to fight Wilder, but he seemed to be confident about Fury, even though people said it was, oh boy, Eddie Hearn that said he want the Fury fight, and people was knocking Joshua, saying because Joshua didn't want the fight, and it is what it is, you know. But right now he talking, and if they can get the fight done, it's an interesting fight. Me personally, the way Tyson Fury looked versus Wilder, I like him in that fight, you know. And what happened in the gym, I mean, it is what it is. Chris Eubanks talked about what happened in the gym with him and George Groves got in the ring and he got outboxed by a dude with one arm. Okay. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be the biggest fight in English history. It'll be in Britain history. It'll be the best thing for them to go down. Me personally, I really don't have, much, care about the fight because that's for them. But then again, I still cover it. I still think Tyson Fury win. But if AJ win, I'm happy. I like AJ. AJ is a solid brother. When he sat there and stood up for all his brothers and sisters in Watford, white people started questioning him like they own him and they tell him what to do. And he said, kick rocks. I had so much more respect for him. But that's a dangerous game, because with Tyson Fury, his performances are up and down. So who knows? If he up that day and Joshua up that day, I think that they best Fury win. If he down that day, and Joshua was at a high level, Joshua win. But that if I wanted to go to the UK and I wanted to experience a spectacle for fight week and I wanted to kick it there for a week, that's definitely a fight that I take my pesos and go see. That's definitely worth every penny, every dollar to see them go down and throw down, like George Foreman in his prime. But I mean, interesting fight. If Fury win, people gonna be saying he an all-time great. But then again, I know there's some great fighters that was in this era, or AJ win. There's some great fighters that's not in this era that didn't even win titles, like David Tua. You know what I'm saying? That really do a hell of a damage in this era. Ikabachi, you can just keep going on and on. There's been great fighters, outside of other eras, Norton, Shavers, who gave, guys like George Foreman, the work. I think Gary Cooney could be champion right now in this climate of boxing. So, that's just my opinion. I think Evander Holyfield would dominate. I think James Toney will be probably the best heavyweight right now. But it's just so much game that's been dropped from this era, from the previous era, that these heavyweights are bigger, but that didn't mean nothing. These dudes was conditioned to go 15 rounds. And they can really crack. Joe Frazier in this era, I think he'd destroy everybody. But that's just my opinion. But let's move on. Lomachenko, basically, Bob Arum responds to him. He says that he want to come back sometime in the spring, April or May, I believe he said. And basically, he wants to Teofimo Lopez. But Bob Arum did respond to what he said about, the bribe. He said Julie Letterman, Harold Letterman's rest in power to him, used to be the unofficial judge for HBO boxing. He said she had an off night. She only had Lomachenko winning one round. But he said it's pretty much right. He said he had basically some Wilder-esque type comments. But, what you expect? This dude, what they say, he only lost twice in the amateurs or once in the amateurs and lost one in the pros. He don't know how to handle it. At the end of the day, he really thought he was going to beat Teofimo Lopez, which I think it was more about T.O. losing it than him winning it. And that's just my opinion. I'm going to stand on that. I still think that he should have had a rematch clause. He shouldn't have been a pompous asshole and not had a rematch. And now he got to deal with that. And if I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm going to wait till I go up to 140 and I make that punk come get a rematch. But they're like, Lomachenko, now that you lost, where do you go from here? I go home. And now he talking about he was cheated. And then remember, they didn't want to do the fight at Madison Square Garden because his fighter got another English Kimar fighter got a bad decision versus McConlin. You hear all these excuses and stuff. Well, my thing is, you didn't do nothing meaningful. You didn't put a meaningful round together. You had spots in like 7 to 8 rounds. I had like T.O. win the first 8 rounds. So we thinking that, and it's there for him. The whole fight I'm on with Lion Killer. Check his channel out, Lion Killer Podcast. Nate be on there. Check out Nate Campbell, former world champion. He got a channel called The Galaxy Experience. So we calling the fight. We ain't listen to the sound. And it's like, really Lomachenko wasn't doing nothing, but it was there for him to take the fight. When he wanted to hit T.O., he can hit him at will, and T.O. head snapping back like a piss machine. And we sitting there thinking Loma gonna step it up and get him out of there at the end because T.O. ain't really been a tough 12. And Lomachenko, he did step it up in like the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and some of them rounds. But guess what? Even when he stepped it up and started, pop shot and just sniping Teofimo Lopez was able to really, take the punishment, and really keep on chugging. And now he's saying that, T.O. is man enough. He would rematch me and, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you didn't have a rematch clause. He couldn't do that. He said if he could beat me 100 times out of 100 times, come rematch me. And I'm like, I wouldn't rematch you neither. You got 2 losses. Why would I rematch you? You didn't have a rematch clause. That's what they were for. And then, even with the rematch clause, Teofimo Lopez can just move up to 140 and took a preliminary fight and get ready, to fight to fight Josh Taylor or Ramirez. And, what make it sound like to me is that Terrence Crawford, not going to be a part of their plans. Is usually the Ramirez-Taylor winner was going to move up and fight Terrence Crawford. But now they talking about fighting, Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor talking about moving down in weight, and all this other stuff. So, Tierra say today that I never said I was leaving Top Rank, this, that, and the third. And it's looking like that. At least Top Rank is making, plans, that he may not be in there. But hey, let me know what you think about Pacquiao seeing Mcgregor. Let me know what you think about Lomachenko crying about T.O. wanting the rematch, and basically Bob responding to him about the bribes and Fury and Joshua and all that stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out anytime if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media links in the description. Fast way to reach me is Twitter, then Facebook, then Instagram. We also got a Facebook group. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Shout out to my boy Benny, my boy Ed, and all the people, Gary Benson, that usually show love in the donation. Best way to donate, share the video. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time, your boy. We go.
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't looking at him. I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't looking at him.